We spend our whole lives trying to save more money, but what's the point if we never truly get to enjoy it? What if the real goal wasn't to die rich, but to live rich? In his book Die with Zero, Bill Perkins flips the traditional idea of wealth upside down. This isn't about reckless spending. It's about using your money, time, and energy in the smartest way possible so you don't end up with regrets. In this video, we'll break down the core lessons from Die with Zero, practical, life-changing principles you can apply today to stop postponing life for some distant future. If you're ready to learn how to live fully, not just save endlessly, hit that like button, share this with a friend, and tell me in the comments which lesson hits you hardest. So let's get straight into the core idea of this book, because it's not just about money. It's about how you use your life. And the first principle is, life is short, spend intentionally. Most people treat money like it's the main goal. Save, 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 and maybe someday enjoy it. But here's the harsh truth. Your time is running out faster than your money is growing. Bill Perkins flips traditional advice on its head. Instead of obsessing about maximizing your bank balance, think about maximizing your life experiences at the right time. Imagine you're 25. You've got energy, curiosity, and the freedom to try new things. But you tell yourself, I'll travel when I'm 50. I'll enjoy later. Guess what? At 50, you might have the money, but not the knees to hike that mountain in Peru. Or at 70, sure, you can afford the luxury cruise, but maybe your health won't allow you to even get on board. Perkins calls these missed moments time buckets. Every age has unique opportunities. Your 20s are for adventure, your 30s for building, your 40s for family experiences. If you hoard money waiting for some perfect future, you end up rich in cash but poor in memories. The key is balance. Don't burn through your savings recklessly, but don't sacrifice every meaningful experience for the sake of a slightly bigger retirement account. Spend intentionally now on things that create joy, memories, and personal growth, because time, unlike money, never compounds. So if life is short and every stage has its own time bucket, then what's the ultimate goal? Bill Perkins gives a bold answer, and it shocks a lot of people at first. The goal Die with Zero. Most of us have been taught to save, 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 with no real plan for when or how to actually use that money. The result? People end up working way past their peak years, then finally retire with a huge pile of cash, only to realize they don't have the health, energy, or even time left to enjoy it. Perkins says this is backwards. The goal shouldn't be to die with a fortune sitting in your bank account. It should be to die with zero. That doesn't mean being irresponsible. It means strategically using your money to fund a life fully lived, not a spreadsheet with a huge final balance. Think of it like this. If you were to chart your money and your life energy over time, they cross in the middle. When you're young, you've got energy but not much money. In your older years, you hopefully have money, but less energy. The sweet spot is somewhere in between, where you can still do the things you dream about and afford them. That's where your spending should be focused. Perkins even suggests thinking about experiential dividends, the interest you earn from spending on meaningful memories. A trip with your family, a personal project you finally take on, helping your parents enjoy their golden years while they're still alive. These are investments that pay off not in dollars, but in lifelong joy and stories. Alright, so if the real goal is to use your money while it still matters, there's a deeper reason why Perkins insists on this, and it's a tough truth we don't like to admit. Time, health, and money don't align. Think of your life as having three major resources: time, health, and money. Here's the problem: you almost never have all three at once. When you're young, you have time and health, but not much money. In middle age, you've got money and health, but not enough time because you're buried in work. In old age, you finally have time and money, but often your health limits what you can do. That's why Perkins says you can't just save everything for someday. Because someday might come when you physically can't do that hiking trip in Peru, or that scuba dive in Bali, or even just travel comfortably with your family. The key is to spend, or rather, invest, in experiences during the phase of life when you can actually enjoy them to the fullest. That doesn't mean blowing through your savings. It means planning your big experiences around the years when your energy, health, and resources actually intersect. Now, if time, health, and money never perfectly align, the obvious question is, what should we be doing with our money while we still have the health and energy to enjoy it? This is where one of Bill Perkins' most powerful ideas comes in, something he calls the memory dividend. Think of money not just as something you spend on stuff, but as a tool to create moments you'll treasure forever. Perkins says the best investments you'll ever make are in experiences that keep paying you back, not financially, but emotionally, year after year. Imagine you take a once-in-a-lifetime trip with your family when you're 30. The trip costs you $5,000, but every time you remember it, tell stories about it, or look at photos, it gives you joy again. That's your memory dividend. Compare that to waiting until you're 70, when your health or energy might limit what you can do. You'll have more money then, sure, but fewer chances to spend it well. It's like planting seeds of joy now that grow into lifelong happiness. Instead of delaying all gratification for someday, Perkins urges you to create these dividends while you can still enjoy them to the fullest. Once you start seeing experiences as investments that keep paying you back emotionally, the next question is, how do you organize your life so you actually make room for them? That's where Perkins introduces another big idea, planning your life in phases instead of living on autopilot. Most people drift through life thinking, I'll save now, enjoy later. But Perkins says life isn't one straight line. It's a series of distinct seasons. Your 20s, 30s, 40s, and beyond are all different. What excites you at 25 won't necessarily matter at 55. So instead of one giant retirement plan, break your life into smaller chapters. Ask yourself, what experiences fit best in my 20s while I'm energetic and flexible? What should I prioritize in my 30s and 40s, when I might have a family and more money but less free time? What about my 50s and 60s, when health starts to play a bigger role? By designing these phases intentionally, you avoid missing out on age-specific opportunities. For example, hiking the Andes in your 30s is way easier than waiting until your knees complain at 65. Similarly, spending quality time with young kids is priceless and can't be delayed for later. This isn't about spending recklessly. It's about aligning money, health, and time to match what matters most at each stage of life. Once you start thinking of your life in phases, you also realize something powerful. Your wealth isn't just for you. The impact you can create by helping others is far greater when it happens at the right time. That's where Perkins' idea of smart giving comes in. Most people think of giving as something you do at the end of life, writing a big check in your will. But Perkins argues that's backward. By the time your wealth transfers, you're not around to see the difference it makes, and the people who need help might need it now, not decades later. Smart giving is about sharing your wealth, time, money, or opportunities while you're alive to see the results. If you want to help your kids, consider supporting them when they're young adults, when a boost can truly change their life path, like paying for education, helping them start a business, or funding travel to gain perspective. If you care about causes, fund them while you're alive to witness the real impact, and even guide it. Giving isn't always about money. Mentorship, introductions, or sharing your expertise often matter just as much. The point is, Giving earlier multiplies its effect. And it also multiplies your own fulfillment because you get to see lives improve because of your choices. Of course, all of this, spending intentionally, planning life in phases, giving smartly, only works if you're intentional. You need a roadmap, not just good intentions. That's where practical planning comes in. Bill Perkins doesn't say spend recklessly. He says spend intentionally, but plan it well. Most people either overplan, saving so aggressively that they never enjoy life. Underplan, spending without thinking, then running out of money or options later. Practical planning is about balancing these extremes with a simple framework. Know your number. Estimate how much you need to live the life you want, not just to survive. Map your timeline. Align big experiences, travel, career breaks, family time, with the stages of life where you'll enjoy them most. Allocate, don't just accumulate. Treat your money like fuel. Decide when and where to burn it, rather than hoarding it forever. Adjust as life changes. Your plan isn't a prison. Review it regularly to account for health, income, and priorities shifting. It's less about spreadsheets and more about living with intention, avoiding regret, and making sure your money serves your life, not the other way around. At the heart of Die with Zero, Bill Perkins challenges everything we've been taught about money, that life is about hoarding wealth for some distant future. But the truth is, life isn't endless. Your time, health, and opportunities won't always line up. So the real goal isn't to die rich. It's to live rich. To invest in memories, experiences, and people while you still can. So ask yourself, are you saving just to feel safe, or are you designing a life you'll actually remember? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you spend on today if you stopped waiting for someday? And if you found this breakdown useful, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because wealth isn't just about money, it's about living fully with zero regrets. Thank you, take care.